go now to Emily Pagashnik for the weather news. Emily?
Thanks, Morgan. This week in the Weather Studio, we've been taking a look at flooding in Texas due to the remnants of Hurricane Patricia. And in this video here, you can actually see where some of the strong winds are really whipping that rain around. Torrential rainfall has been smashing records in Texas. Up to 20 inches of rain have fallen over some parts of the area, with other areas reporting their rainfall totals in feet instead of inches. Heavy rains have washed away cars and even derailed a freight train, and strong winds are really battering the coastline, pushing tides 5 feet or more above normal levels, forcing people to take cover and prepare for the rising water. And since the southeastern part of the United States has been getting a lot of water, the West Coast, mainly California, has been wishing that they can get a little bit of relief, but relief could be on the way for them as we take a look at the upper level systems and how they are going to be moving over the next week. Last week we saw a nice trough move into California, and a trough is great for bringing in some precipitation for the area. But it brought a little bit too much to them because they did see some mudslides last week. This season, though, California has really been in a ridging effect, which ridging helps with giving you nice sunny skies, doesn't help too much for precipitation. Though next week we could see a nice trough develop over California, bringing a bunch of precipitation into the area, which is how El Nino is really helping the country this year. Now, we've all tripped over cracked concrete before, and there's actually particular reasons why concrete can do that.
Ask anyone who walks a regular route, and they'll be able to tell you where sidewalks are a problem. Sidewalks need the proper conditions to stay crack-free.
Dry years, they affect settling as well because they can dry out the clay, which causes the clay to shrink and creates void underneath the slab.
Taylor says in extreme cold and hot climates, there's really no way to prevent cracking. But one way you can fix it is by a process called mudjacking.
The process of raising settled concrete by drilling holes in the existing concrete, pumping material underneath to level out the slab.
Not only does this happen to your sidewalks, but it can also happen to your homes and driveways.
Clay shrinks, it's putting more pressure on the foundation, which is causing it to crack more.
This year has been dry in the upper Midwest. Conditions for cracking are perfect with freezing temperatures on the way and dry soil.
Warmer climates like California, they have a lot less settling issues as opposed to someplace like North Dakota or Minnesota.
Mudjacking is oftentimes a cheaper and faster alternative to fix major cracking problems. However, there are ways to fix or prevent cracking from occurring.
One of the main things that you can do is watch where your water flows off your house. We see a lot of sidewalks getting washed out because people don't have effective drainage from their gutters.
Next time you get tripped up on a sidewalk, remember, cracked concrete and climate go hand in hand. Reporting for Studio One, I'm Kayla Lucky.
And in some parts of the country, as in Texas, they actually water their foundations. And that brings us to our weather question of the week. What state holds the record for the worst drought? Is it Texas, Nevada, California, or Arizona? Now, Morgan, this state does have a history of droughts that have lasted well over 200 years.
All right, thanks, Emily. Now Emily joins us in the studio with a final look at the weather. Emily?
Thanks, Morgan. As we look at our temperatures for the next week, the eastern part of the United States are going to be pretty warm. The western part a little bit cooler with some rain systems moving in. For precipitation, most of the country is looking to get a little bit here and there. Even though it does show California still being dry, they will get some precipitation as well, just not as much as they normally have this time of year. And that brings us back to our weather question of the week. What state holds the record for the worst drought? And that is actually California. Scientists have used tree rings to determine drought years. In Morgan, there was about 1,500 years ago, there was a drought that lasted 240 years.
The drought itself lasted 234 years? Wow, that's crazy.